Top class performance from Paul Pogba. Varane masterclass. High quality game. France 1, Germany 0, and it's your match review. What's going on, guys? This is For The Fans. It's the World of Football show, Euro edition. And before I dissect this whole game, if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button and smash that like button. France have taken a major step forward into qualifying into the round of 16 and out of the group by beating Germany, because with the next games coming up, France are versus Hungary, Germany is versus Portugal. And if France do the business against Hungary, which we expect them to do, don't get me wrong, Hungary is a decent opponent. You know, I watched Hungary versus Portugal, and for 80 minutes, Portugal had no answer for Hungary. Hungary were defending with their lives. But if France do the business and beat Hungary as we expect them to do, and if Germany does not beat Portugal, so if Germany get a draw against Portugal or they lose against Portugal, France would have qualified out of the group. So beating this German team today was a fantastic result that moved them into the right direction. Now the performance, I think the performance was a good performance. I think it was a very good performance, because you are playing a top class German team that you can't expect that you're going to dominate them from minute 1 to minute 90. It doesn't happen like that. They are as good as you. It's like when you play Real Madrid, when you play Real Madrid, when you play Manchester City, when you play Chelsea, when you play Liverpool, you are not going to dominate those teams from minute 1 to minute 90. You will have spells in the game where you are on top of them, and in like manner, they will have also spells in the game where they are on top of you. But it's just about game management. And if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, don't be like that. Subscribe right now so you can see more content of this quality. But France managed that game world class. I thought it was a top class performance, because you know, we know France. If you watch France in the World Cup 2018 when they won the World Cup, France don't play this outstanding fantasy football. They don't play this football. France play like how they played against Germany. They're very good in defensive low blocks, and their transitional play into the counter attack is top class because they've got Kylian Mbappe, and that's how France play. They're very hard to break down, and they can defend deep, and they'll hit you on the counter. And there will be the odd moments in the game where a couple minutes they'll get on the ball and they'll move the ball and they'll keep the ball. But this is how France play. And guys, this is knockout football. This is tournament football. In knockout football, in tournament football, it's not about performances. It's about results. It's not about how good your football looks. It's about how effective your football looks. That's all it is. Because you can be the best performing, you can have the best performances and play the best football, but you can still get knocked out. In World Cup 2018, France weren't playing the best football. Belgium was playing the best football. But Belgium did not make it, and France ended up winning the competition, because it's a knockout football. It's not about how pretty you paint the pictures. It's not about how pretty you paint the pictures at all. It's about getting the required results. And this French team is tailor-made for that. This France team, I think, is the most complete team in the whole competition, in the whole of Euro 2020. They are the most complete team. When I speak about complete team, I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about complete team in a sense of they can play in any transition of the game. They can play in any transition of the game. So France can play with a low block. When a team is attacking France and putting pressure on France, they can defend with a low block. And what they do is France primarily play 4-3-3. 4-3-1-2, 4-3-3, whatever you want to put it. But they play with three midfielders and with 3 attackers. So what they do is, when they're defending deep with a low block, the team is pressuring them like how Germany was today. Then they defend with 4-4-2. Griezmann drops into the midfield and they defend with 2 banks of 4, and they've got 2 attackers that stay up top with Benzema and Mbappe. And so what they do is they defend with the low block, and they do that to a world-class level. They're outstanding in that transition, in that phase of the game. They can play in all phases of the game. That's why I say they're the most complete team. They can play in all phases of the game. So they can play a defensive game, and they can go into a low block and defend at a world-class level. They can play in that phase of the game. Then, in the transition from defending to attack, they can counter-attack. They're the best in counter-attacking because they've got a player like Paul Pogba that can pick a pass. Any pass he wants to, he can pick it. And they've got a player like Kylian Mbappe that can get on the end of the pass. Kylian Mbappe, no defender in Europe can match him for speed. So when you've got these two players, you can counter-attack. Then they also got Benzema that can hold the ball up, because there comes a time where when you transitioning from defense to attack and you counter-attacking, you need someone to hold the ball to bring a few of the teammates upfield to link the play. So Benzema can hold the ball up and he'll link it with Griezmann and Pogba, and thereafter Pogba can make that diagonal pass or that through ball, whatever he makes, to Kylian Mbappe. That's what they were doing in the World Cup. Yes, they did not have Benzema, but they had Giroud. He was holding the ball. But that's what they done in the World Cup. How many times in the World Cup 2018 did you see Paul Pogba making those through balls and those long passes to Kylian Mbappe? And they done it now. In the very first game, you saw Paul Pogba making those through balls and those long balls to Kylian Mbappe for the counter-attack. So they can play like that in those two phases of the game. Defending deep with a low block, counter-attacking as well. Then they can also play possession football. They are outstanding in keeping the ball. You saw that again with Germany. There were moments in the game where Germany backed off a little bit because France were getting on the ball and they were moving the ball, and they're all technical players. All the French team are technical players, so they know how to move the ball. They know how to go into positions. They know how to play 1 and 2 touch football. I saw Paul Pogba linking up with Benjamin Pavard, linking up with Griezmann, playing 1 and 2 touch football. They can do that. They know how to attack. They know how to open up spaces. They know how to play, as I'm saying, 1 and 2 touch off, bounce the ball off one another. They are just the most complete team in the tournament. And I think it's going to take somebody special to stop this France team, because they are really, really, really good. Outstanding. But I want to talk about, let me start from the back. Let me start from the back on individual performances. Lloris wasn't tested at all. You know, the Germans did not test Lloris. The Germans did not open the French defense at all. It was a defensive masterclass from France. Defensive masterclass. The Germans could not open up the French team. Yes, the Germans had a few chances. They did. The Gnabry chance, and there was other small half chances that they had. Gundogan had a chance as well in the box where he caught the ball on the half volley, but Paul Pogba put him off a bit. Paul Pogba's presence was there. Paul Pogba slid in but held back the tackle, so he put Gundogan off. They had those chances, but they did not open up France. It was a defensive masterclass from them. So I was talking about Lloris. Lloris wasn't tested, but his passing is atrocious. His passing from the back is atrocious. It reminds me of David De Gea, and I actually think it's on the same level of David De Gea. It's just not good. He was making mistakes with his passing it into the midfield, going straight to a German shirt. That's Lloris, you know. But one thing I will say is that he doesn't make many mistakes. Apart from his passing, I'm talking about goalkeeping errors now with his hands. He doesn't make many mistakes as he makes for his club. I don't know why. But that's Lloris. I thought Benjamin Pavard performed well as well. No one really got past him and done him for pace or done him for skill. But standout performer in the defense for me was Varane. Master class from Varane, world class from Varane. And if Varane is available, United need to do everything in their power to go and sign this guy, because he's everything United need. He's a leader, he's fast, the way he reads the game is outstanding. If you are a defender and you can read the game to a high level, no one can get past you. No one can get past you, because as a defender, a lot of your work is about reading the game, seeing who's playing on your shoulder, not letting them go past you, not letting them run off your shoulder and stuff like that. And I thought that Varane, it was a masterclass from Varane. And let me just read you Varane's statistics. 8 clearances, 2 block shots, 2 interceptions, dribble passed 0 times. 92.9 pass accuracy, but you expect that from defenders, because a lot of the times, you know, they're not making those long passes, they're making the safe passes. But Varane did make a long pass in the game. 3 out of 3 ground duels won. 3 out of 3 aerial duels won, was fouled once, dribbled 1 out of 1. He made 3 out of 6 long balls, and he had 57% touches. Masterclass from Varane. Masterclass. And you see Kimpembe. Kimpembe is a good defender, but Varane makes him look better than what he really is. Now, that's not me saying Kimpembe is a bad defender. As I'm saying, Kimpembe is a good defender, but Varane makes him look better than he really is. Varane makes him look world-class. And that's what a world-class centre-back needs to do. A world-class centre-back should make his partner better and look better than what he really is. Virgil van Dijk got the same impact at Liverpool. You can put Matip next to Van Dijk. You can put Joe Gomez next to Van Dijk. When they had Lovren, they were putting Lovren next to Van Dijk. And Van Dijk made all 3 of these defenders look world-class because Van Dijk is world-class. Same with Ruben Dias. Ruben Dias comes into Manchester City. All of a sudden, John Stones looks top class. The same John Stones that was almost out of Manchester City because he was not good enough. Ruben Dias comes and elevates John Stones' performances because that's what a proper world-class centre-back needs to do. He needs to make his partner look better than what he really is. He needs to lead his partner and guide his partner. That's why I will never rate Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire makes Victor Lindelof look worse than what he really is. Harry Maguire does not improve his centre-back partnership. As a centre-back, when you are the leading centre-back, which Harry Maguire should be for Manchester United, but like Varane is for France, you talk to your fellow centre-back. Throughout the game, you need to be communicating to him. Tell him, take 2 steps to the left, or come closer to me, we're too far separated. Or I'm going to press the ball, you stay in behind and watch for the runner. You need to communicate these things to your centre-back. And that's what Varane does with Kimpembe. He makes Kimpembe look better than what he really is. They both look world-class together and they complement each other so well. And then you've got Hernandez on the left, which was fantastic. I think he's, I never rate him so much when the World Cup started in 2018. But as the games went by, I started seeing why he was favoured ahead of someone like Kazawa in the World Cup. And why he's even favoured ahead of someone like Digne. Well, Lucas Digne is a good left back. But this guy Hernandez is very good. I think going forward, he's fantastic. And even defending. Defensively, he's outstanding. And that's not really the case now with modern day football. You'll have fullbacks that are outstanding going forward, but defensively you can ask them some questions. You can't ask this boy any questions. He's so good, and he's quick, and he's fast, and he's powerful. Fantastic back. They have a fantastic back four, and I thought it was a solid performance defensively. Then we go into the midfield, and what more can you say about N'Golo Kante? All over the pitch. He plays like there's 2 holding midfielders. And it's only him by himself. He covers every blade of grass. There was one moment in the game where I saw N'Golo Kante on the left wing. And a couple seconds later, I saw him on the right wing. I'm not lying. And he got the ball. Fantastic performance from N'Golo Kante. And then you've got Paul Pogba. And there's a statistic out there that from the time Paul Pogba and N'Golo Kante started playing together, France have never lost a game. Never lost a game. That's the partnership that these guys have. Fantastic partnership because they complement each other well. Paul Pogba doesn't have to worry about tracking back so much because he knows N'Golo Kante is there. So he knows that he'll have freedom to go forward and attack because N'Golo Kante will cover for him and do N'Golo Kante his own job as well. So he doesn't have to worry about doing so much of a defensive work because N'Golo Kante is there. And in like manner, N'Golo Kante knows that he can just win the ball back and play a simple pass to Pogba because Pogba can do the rest, go forward, drive with the ball, dribble, and make those key passes. So they complement each other so well. So well. So Paul Pogba got the man of the match award, and rightly so. I thought it was a top-class performance from Paul Pogba. Him and N'Golo Kante ran that midfield, ran it. Rabiot, I was disappointed at Rabiot. He made some decisions in that game. Even that one where he was running and he could have squared it to Griezmann, albeit I think it was offside. But he could have squared it to Griezmann. He ended up taking the shots and hit the outside of the post. There was other moments where there was a counter-attack for France and he was leading the counter-attack and he had green grass to run into and Benzema was overlapping him. He chose not to pass to Benzema and he overran the ball and the defender came. So there were moments, a lot of moments in the game where Rabiot was just not good enough, and the midfield of Paul Pogba and Kante was carrying Rabiot. So I don't know what Didier Deschamps is going to do about that going forward. I expect he'll do nothing. I expect he'll continue with Rabiot. I just hope Rabiot can improve his performances, because you can't keep carrying someone. You know, they carried him throughout this game. But as I'm saying, Paul Pogba, fantastic performance. Him and N'Golo Kante ran that midfield and ran Gundogan and Toni Kroos into the ground. I could not see Gundogan in the game. Gundogan was like invisible to me in the midfield. I saw Toni Kroos. Well, we know Toni Kroos, you know. Toni Kroos' pass accuracy, I think, in this game, I was reading his stats, is sitting at about 94% or something like that. And he was making long balls. He completed all his long balls. He's a pass master. And he was passing in this game fantastic as well. But Paul Pogba ran him into the ground. Paul Pogba, I saw dribbling him a few times, making him look like a stupid as well on the pitch. But that's Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba ran that midfield with N'Golo Kante, ran Gundogan and Toni Kroos into the ground. Paul Pogba, the pass for the goal. He started that goal off. He first held the ball and he got the ball and he passed to the outside of his foot. Now, the frame for us on the television, when we were watching from the television, Hernandez wasn't even in the frame. And Paul Pogba made that pass. Everybody thought that he was going to make the pass to Kylian Mbappe. And when he made that pass with the outside of his foot, and we saw it go past Mbappe, I thought, oh, he misplaced his pass. And then I saw Hernandez getting on the end of it, and everyone was saying, even the commentators were saying, what a pass from Pogba, outside of his foot. And then we know the goal was our own goal, but it all started with Pogba. Everything good that France done going forward, it had to start from Pogba. It had to start. He was fantastic. Let me just read you his stats. 82% pass accuracy, 12 ball recoveries, was fouled 4 times, 3 attempted take-ons, 3 successful take-ons, 3 interceptions, 2 attempted tackles, 2 successful tackles, 1 shot. Outstanding from Paul Pogba. Outstanding numbers, outstanding performance, and rightly so, he's got the man of the match. And I'm excited to see how he performs going forward, because he has freedom now in this France team to go forward. Whereas in the World Cup 2018, he was playing as a CDM next to Kante. But because now they've got Rabiot there, so they play 3 in the middle now. Now Paul Pogba got a bit of license to go forward, and you see what he can do when he goes forward. He also had that chance early in the first half where Griezmann crossed the ball from a corner, but it hit Paul Pogba's shoulder instead of his head. That was unlucky. He needs to do better in those situations going forward, but he will. Paul Pogba is a goal scoring and assisting midfielder. Outstanding. Griezmann, I thought Griezmann was very good off the ball. Everything good that Griezmann done was off the ball. His defending was outstanding. And you need that in these games, guys. You need that in knockout football. You know, you need to be a team player. You can't say, no, I'm the attacker, I'm the goal scorer, so I'm going to stand on top of the field and wait for the ball to come to me. No. In knockout football, you need to give everything for the team, because at the end of that 90 minutes, if you are not on the right side of the scoreline, you are out. You go home and you watch the tournament from your TV. So you need to give everything, and that's what Griezmann done. Griezmann done off the ball. He was outstanding. And then Benzema as well. I thought Benzema was okay. You know, not much service, but I thought he was okay. He looked dangerous. He was holding the ball up well. You know what you're going to get with Benzema. Even when Benzema's not scoring, look at the 2 types of strikers. There's a striker that when he's not scoring, he's not helpful to the team and he's not doing anything for the team. Then there's another striker that even when he's not scoring, his value to the team is immense. And that's Benzema. Even when Benzema's not scoring, his value to the team is too high. It's too high. And then you talk about the machine, Kylian Mbappe, that was running Germany into the ground. His pace. The only problem I've got with Kylian Mbappe is the same that I have with Marcus Rashford. You guys are... There's no defender in Europe that can keep up with you guys. Do not play on the shoulder of defenders. Why must you play on the shoulder of defenders when you are much faster than them? Give the defender a yard. Even give the defender 2 yards. So you know when you're getting on the end of that ball, you know you're onside. Don't play on the shoulder of the defender. You are much faster than the defender. You don't have to risk yourself being offside. And that's what we saw from Kylian Mbappe this game. He was offside a number of times because he was playing on the shoulder. You don't need to play on the shoulder when you're as fast as Kylian Mbappe and as Marcus Rashford. You can give the defender a yard or 2 yards and you'll still get there before him. People that need to play on the shoulders, people like Antoine Griezmann. He needs to play on the shoulder. Even someone like Harry Kane. They need to play on the shoulder because they're not much faster than defenders. They're not faster than defenders, you know. So they have to play on the shoulder, and every yard that they can get ahead of the defender matters. But that's not the case with Mbappe. So Mbappe needs to learn that, and I'm hoping the coaches can tell him, stop playing on the shoulder because you're offside and we need to score goals. And we need to be sure that the goal that we score is a legitimate goal. France was scoring goals, but they were offside. Even towards the end of the game, the goal that Kylian Mbappe squared for Benzema, and Benzema hits it in, taps it in. Offside, because Kylian Mbappe was offside, wants to play on the shoulder. But even for that goal, I can excuse him a bit because Paul Pogba's feet got messed up. So he anticipated the pass before Paul Pogba actually passed it. It's Paul Pogba's fault that he couldn't sort his feet out earlier. But still, you need to check your run. Stop playing on the shoulder of the defenders. You're much faster than them. So that's the only criticism I have for Kylian Mbappe, but that's a minor thing. His overall game is world class, and he runs defenders into the ground. And so, fantastic performance from France, guys. You know, Germany did not open them up, not one bit. The Germans had the ball, especially when the game started. The first, probably I'd say 10 minutes, 8 minutes, the Germans had all of the ball. But that did not bother me as a France supporter, because I know how France play. I know France are not going to go out there and have more possession than these top teams and dominate these top teams. That's not how France plays. That's not how France plays. So it did not worry me. And they did not open France. At one point, they never, ever, ever opened France. Not a single point in the game did they open up France's defense. So I'm excited. I'm hoping France can get out of this group and go all the way. I do genuinely believe they can go all the way. I genuinely believe that. So guys, if you're watching this video, never subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button. I will see you all for the next game. Peace.